Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Black Straight from your gaming, your network, bringing you another one, man. So we here. You know what? I've seen an influx of people coming over to Ghost. You know what I mean? They just added the Legends mode to the PS Plus, so I've seen a lot of people. We're getting an influx of players with a whole bunch of questions. We're on Reddit. We're looking around. We're seeing what's going on. Just online. We're in Facebook groups, and we're seeing like people asking a lot of questions in terms of, how to get certain legendaries and et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm gonna do is I'm putting out this video first. So this is gonna be the top 10 legendaries. Obviously, this is subjective based on the way I play. Some people may have certain things higher or lower, but these are, in my opinion, the top 10 best items, legendaries that you can get in the game. So I'm gonna rank them from 10 to 1, and you just let me know how you feel, if your rank is different, if you have, if you have any of these items, are you looking for them? Because I'm gonna do another video that's going through all legendaries in the game, basically, how I rank them and what's the best way to farm them or to get them, or which character to play to basically get them. Okay, so starting off at number 10, we have Enjo's Remorse. Now this charm right here, this one deals 15% bonus damage from all sources when at full health. Now this one, it's really good, especially if you're playing, like, I would say story mode, the trials or survival, maybe not so much, because it's really hard to get your health to stay at 100% unless you're playing like maybe on like gold as like a hunter with the skipping stone, or with the weightless or something like that, where you're not really getting damage and you can stay away from enemies and kill from far range. Then I would say it's a good source, but I think the hunter does have better options. So this one I would say is better for like story mode, but it still does really good damage to add on top of that. So like that for number 10. Number 9, we have the Magma Bomb. Now the Magma Bomb is a 90-second cooldown period once you use it, and basically this sticky bomb, it creates a small smoke cloud. Like when you throw it at the enemy, it sticks to them, and then once it explodes, and you can set it however you want it, with increased radius, with increased blast damage, with fire damage. It's pretty cool, but once it explodes, it creates a small cloud that you can create assassinations with. So now this is a real good option for someone like, I would say, the assassin, who if you build them that way, can do real quick assassinations on top of like having like other things. Like, it's really good. I've thrown it on samurai at times, and I really like what it does too. There's certain other options that I rock with the samurai, so I don't use it on him as much, but I definitely love it. The Magma Bomb is super dope. Love that. So at number 8, we have the Stone Striker Sword. Now the Stone Striker Sword, it grants Heavenly Strike, which is a really good move. It's a like this strike that staggers enemy. It freezes like the surrounding enemies. It's like really dope. It takes 1 resolve to use. So as long as you have resolve, you can use it. It's pretty dope. It's really strong too, and it does extra damage to staggered enemies. Now this one right here, this is best fit on the Ronin, because as most people know who's been playing, the Ronin doesn't necessarily have the strongest of specials. I mean, the weakened one that does the shockwave blast that weakens every enemy around him is actually really strong. I do like it, but it's not like a killer, but it's definitely a really good support. So this one is good. If you're not really going to be using your special as much, or if you don't have that one, it would be definitely a dope one to get, the Stone Striker Sword. Love this here, man. It's a dope weapon. I think it doesn't come with, I think it's either moon. I don't remember what stance it has, but I'm a water stance guy, so I throw water stance on there, so that's the only thing that I don't think you can get a water master on it, but it's still a dope sword. Does tons of damage. Alright, next up at number 7, we have the Weightless Spirit. Now the reason why I love the Weightless Spirit is a short bow, and with this short bow, the arrows do not descend. So if you, like, let's say you're using aim assist and you track the head, it's gonna hit the head. So when you shoot, it's gonna hit the head. It's pretty dope. It fires really fast. It's not as strong as another bow that I'm gonna mention, but it definitely made my top 10 because I've used this. I love it on story mode. Some levels I'm just going through on, like, if I'm just farming like items, or if I'm just like playing. I mean, it doesn't hold up as well on Nightmare. On Gold, it's dope. On Nightmare, it may be a little underpowered. Like, you really have to be on top, and you may have to pull out your katana a little bit more when using this. But I tend to, if I'm running hunter, I tend to really, focus on a bow, unless I really have to. Sometimes it's good to vary, but I like using a bow when I am the hunter. So there it is at number 7. At number 6, we have the Masamune's Edge. Now, melee attacks do an additional 20%. They have a 1 in 5 chance, a 20% chance of doing double damage. It also starts with wind stance, great for the spare enemies, and then you can throw the water stance on there. And I love this blade because you can switch back and forth with the spare enemies, or the only ones that give the water stance a hard time. So it's really good with that. I use it on samurai specifically. It's really good with the samurai. With the other builds, I just don't have room for it depending on what I'm doing. So, and because my samurai is a really heavy katana filled build, you definitely want to use it with the samurai. You see, when this thing procs, man, especially if you have ultimate damage on your character or you're using your special, when that thing hits, man, it hits hard. So this is definitely something that you want to try and pick up if you can. All right, so moving on, we got number 5. We got the Bottle of Liquid Courage. Now this is one that I have a bunch of these. Probably at this point I got 10 or 11 of these, but I don't mostly use it because it's a legendary and they nerfed it. Before, it used to give between I think it was 1 to almost 3. It could basically fill you up. If you even had a little bit of resolve, you would fill up and then it would just get back to back. And I'm not sure if you can get lucky on this, but if you can, when this procs a couple of times, it's pretty good. 120-second cooldown time, that's pretty high. But I don't use it as much lately. I've been doing nightmares and haven't really had much trouble with them. It may be a little bit harder with all the platinums now. We may need something, but I don't use it as much. I'm more of a smoke bomb kind of person, depending. But Bottle of Liquid Courage, especially for rivals, this one is really good. I see a lot of people with their rivals builds that have this, because getting those extra specials, especially when you're the hunter and you're using this and you're getting your specials back to back, that could be the difference, because it's a speed thing. So for people who play rivals a lot, this is definitely what you want to use. I would say, yeah. And I see a lot of people using it. So even though it's not my taste and I don't really play rivals a lot, but definitely that's on the list at number 5. Now, for me, for number 4, we have the Mr. Yagata. Now, normally on most of my builds, I don't use the healing smoke bomb, but because smoke bombs, I rank them really high in this game. The smoke bombs, even for a normal smoke bomb, it stops enemies in their tracks and it groups them together. So you can use other avenues to take out a whole crowd, which I love it. It's even for a regular, it's cool. So now this one heals on top of that. I said, but generally, because the way I build certain builds, the only time that I would probably end up using a Mr. Yagata that I would have a chance to would probably be either on the hunter, depending on what build I'm running, or I would say the assassin, because on the other builds it's there's no room for it for what I want to use. So yeah, and it's a 120-second cooldown on that. I think the normal smoke bomb is 90 seconds if I'm not mistaken, but so that's a pretty long time. But if you're making a build, a lot of the assassin builds, they don't have healing options, so it really depends, because sometimes you want to do your poison damage, and if you're going poison, then you probably wouldn't have a heal. So it really depends on you. Now at number 3, we have the Forbidden Medicine. Now, Forbidden Medicine, this is one of my favorite items in the game, but I have it at number 3 because I think there's still some more useful items than the Forbidden Medicine. Forbidden Medicine bombs heal the self-character and also your allies, so you can throw those out and heal up your friends. It's pretty cool, especially when you pair this with the smoke bomb, smoke bomb with munitions. That gives you more ammo for your Forbidden Medicine. Now the thing is, with the Forbidden Medicine, hunters doesn't get to use this, which they don't need it anyway. and the assassin can actually use the regular bomb pack. So it, depending on the type of build that you want to use, you may not want to throw it on the assassin. You may just use a regular bomb pack since you can use the regular. So he's this forbidden medicine is a staple to my samurai pretty much only because the Ronin can heal in many other different ways. So the Ronin doesn't need it. So basically that's why it doesn't have utility when I play other classes. So it's really, for me, like I can throw it on assassin sometimes, but then, you know, I can't use maybe the Spirit Kunai, or I can't use the Magic Bomb, which is what I'm really trying to use most of the time there. You know what I mean? So there it is now. At number 2, we have the Skipping Stone Bow. Now this bow, the reason why I have it at number 2, and most people would probably have it at number 1, this is depending, like, you ever play with a hunter and they just like destroying everything, and no matter how hard you trying to keep up with them, it's just like, yo, they are just taking out wave after wave, especially on anything under Nightmare. It's pretty hard to beat a hunter that has a Skipping Stone Bow that knows what they're doing, because they just melt enemies, man. They do them headshots and they will take them out, man. It's no joke. And the thing with the Skipping Stone Bow now, for every headshot you do, the arrow will like jump to a second person. So you're basically getting 2 headshots, plus you get the resolve for both of that, and then your resolve builds up so fast. And then even on your special, when you do the special, those aim for the head, and those are ricocheting. So it's like a ridiculous amount of damage that you can do, and it's not really that skill based. Like, you can, if you can rock with this, man, you can definitely do some major damage. It's really crazy. The Skipping Stone Bow, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. The only thing with, I would say that the reason why I have it ranked number 2, well, number 1 is Hunter is probably my least played character. You know, when I was using the waitlist, I definitely use it a lot more, and I do like it, but because it's such a slow wind up to get the arrows off. I mean, they do have the quick trigger way that I see a lot of people play, and I do play like that, you know, to enable to get your special like really fast, but it's just I enjoy playing Samurai too much, so for me it's at number 2. Now for number 1, our very best legendary item that we think is none other than the Spirit Kunai. Now, the Spirit Kunai, 30-second cooldown. So just imagine this. The Spirit Kunai, for each kill you get, and it used to be even worse, even better, like, you know what I mean? For each kill you get, it lowers all cooldowns, like everything you have, by 10 seconds. It used to be 15, but they nerfed it a bit. Now, you put cooldown on kill also, it's only 30 seconds, and then especially like this is a standard made for the Ronin. If you have the Ronin, like, he can add so much ghost weapon damage, which is what this is considered. Like, you can just be pummeling through enemies. Like, when you look at certain like matches you may be playing with certain people, you say like, yo, how the heck is that Ronin like so strong, getting so many kills? And it's because, man, them ghost weapons, if you play on anything beyond, like, before Nightmare, like, those things can basically one-shot like everything except for like maybe the purple Oni Lords. Like, they're so ridiculously strong, you know what I mean? But the only thing is, like, when you're using these, you have to use hidden blades. Well, you don't have to use hidden blades, but you get more with hidden blades and super massive. If you use fired up and the fire kills them, you don't get the 10% cooldown, which kind of sucks, you know what I mean? But it has to be the actual kunai killing. And once you use them, like, you can gauge like enemies, like, especially if you're doing a lot of survivals, you can gauge the enemy's health to see like when is the best time to throw them out to make sure you get the kill. It's really dope. A lot of people will see people fighting and then they'll get the health down, and then they'll throw the kunai and steal people's kills just to get those cooldowns for themselves. So a lot of times you see people get upset about that when they do that, you know what I mean, especially if they're playing Ronin. So a lot of Ronins can end up with a lot of kills that way, which is pretty cool. But like I said, you know what I mean, this is my list. It's subjective, and I just put them basically in the list of like how I would use them and the utilities. Like Spirit Kunai, basically I can throw them on any class, and you know what I mean, like the cooldowns is dope. Skipping Stone, it's up there because it's just, even though it's you, I mean, you can use it on other classes because there's a thing that you could put on it called versatile. You can throw it on other classes, but it just doesn't even make sense. Like, sometimes maybe on the samurai if, like, you know, you're playing a certain way, but yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose, you know. And with the way the samurai plays, unless you're playing like a really defensive build, like, you may not want to use that. It's all good. Yeah, man. So just let me know what you guys thought. The next video I'm gonna be dropping is gonna be all legendaries, and I'm just gonna be going through pretty much what they do, where they rank on my list. So these will repeat in the order that they do, and basically just the best ways to farm them, and between the four characters, which character is more likely to get certain items, because there's certain items that will mostly drop for certain characters. They have a higher percent chance dropping for those characters. So we'll look into that, and we'll drop it. So yeah, this is my list. Holla at me, man. It's your boy Black Trey from Your Gaming, Your Network, and we out, man.